In today's GTA 6 video, we're going to be taking a look at that potentially real leaked map that came out a couple of days ago and actually comparing it realistically this time to the GTA 5 map. I thought this could be a pretty interesting thing to look at, given the fact that there's not really a whole lot going on in the GTA world at the moment. I mean, we're still waiting on the GTA Online summer update, and as far as GTA 6 goes, I mean, we're not going to get anything official for a couple of years, it seems like. And this is the most realistic thing we have, or at least the most believable thing we have at the moment. And I think this is pretty cool. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in. Now, the first thing I wanted to mention was this picture. This was one of the screenshots from the original leak of all this. And again, we still don't know if this is real or not, but we're just going to assume it's real for the sake of this video. In this video, in this leak, at the bottom, there's this high detail option. And that's something I slightly talked about in the video a couple days ago, but I never really went into detail. And this high detail option could be why the original map looked kind of small. Assuming that the video was taking place in like a low detail, maybe it wasn't showing all of those things you would expect in a high detailed version of the map. Maybe it's not showing the very small roads. Maybe it's not showing the minor little buildings and stuff, right? Like looking at the Vice City part of this put together leak map from that video, it doesn't look too big, but maybe that's because it's only showing the very big roads in the game. Let's say they switched to that high detail mode, then you would see all of the little tinier roads that do connect everything together. That makes a lot more sense when we talk about the size of this map. Now, with that being said, let's get into what everyone wants to see, the actual comparison against the GTA 5 map. This, as you can see, is coming from Reddit user Jericho681, so shout out to him. I believe the way this was actually figured out was basically by just comparing the airport. You can see there's the airport in the middle of the Vice City map, and then, of course, we have the Los Santos airport. And I'm pretty sure he just, you know, one for one sort of scaled it that way. Now, look, there's a lot of things that even doing that is questionable, because is this Vice City airport even going to be the same size as the Los Santos one? Maybe it's bigger. You know, we don't really know. This is just the best we can do at the moment. And I think this gives a pretty good scale as to what this map, if it's real, again, could look like. And when we take a look at it with this scaled up version, well, it's a lot bigger than we thought it would be. And the actual Vice City part, it's not as small as we thought it would be. Again, assuming this is the low detailed version, so we're not seeing all those lighter colored roads. Like if we take a look at the GTA Los Santos map, you can see there's a bunch of those lighter colored roads that we see, but in the Vice City one we don't, because again, maybe those are the high details we are missing. Because imagine if you took the Los Santos part and you took out all of those, grayish, light colored roads. Well, it would look kind of small. It would sort of look like the Vice City one. But because we, of course, have those, we know what they are, it does make it look a little bit bigger. So apart from even just Vice City and Los Santos, I mean, because of course those are the two big cities, it does look like this Vice City map has a bunch of other little cities, which is definitely something that was missing with GTA 5. I mean, yeah, we had Sandy Shores, we had Plato Bay, but those aren't very big. But on this Vice City one, we have, looks like, 4 or 5 relatively largish cities that are towns, I guess you could say, that aren't the main one. We have the two on the left-hand side, we have the one up north, the one in the middle of the map with like the lake. I believe that's supposed to be the Disney World aspect or part of the map. So, that's not necessarily a city, but if it's a theme park, I mean, that's cool. And then of course we have the Key West part at the bottom. And honestly, after sort of just looking at this back and forth, I'm kind of hoping it's real, because it does make me a little bit excited for GTA 6's actual map, if this is the case. I mean, it is very similar to GTA 5's Los Santos in the fact that it is just like sort of a large island, but I think there's a lot of variance in it. There's a lot of little parts that differentiate itself. There's a lot of little lakes, Looks like there's some rivers that go through it, a lot more of coastline, and that would make sense given the fact that this is, of course, Florida. A lot more beaches, and it does sort of look like, given, you know, the little lakes we see, it does look like the rest, or the sort of northern part, could be very swampy, which was definitely one of the things that was pointed out in a couple of the leaks that came out a couple of days ago, or a couple of weeks ago. Now, I guess one of the interesting things about this Vice City map is that it's not maybe as symmetrical, I don't know if that's the right word, but or the Los Santos map, you can see it's sort of an oval. Like, you can take the interstate basically and go up to the north and then all the way around. Like, you can go in a perfect circle. But this Vice City one, it's kind of a little different, which I think actually is good. It's not just so straightforward. You can, of course, take, you know, the interstate up north, but then it looks like maybe it becomes like a highway or something. And then there's the main looking interstate that cuts through the entire middle of the map. And then there's some more stuff at the bottom. It doesn't look like it's just a circle. It looks like there's a lot of intricacies sort of running through, and that definitely makes for a lot more varied gameplay, especially if you do end up thinking about like the inevitable GTA Online aspect of this map. A lot of places that people can go, and it's not just the same roads that people travel over and over again. So that's definitely something that I really like about this map. And again, that's why I'm hoping it's real. It's really why I'm hoping it's real. Now, the only other thing that we are sort of missing from this potential leaked map is the Puerto Rico part of it, because according to the other leaks, there's supposed to be a Puerto Rico island that's about 1/3 the size of this one. And we don't really know anything about it. We haven't seen any leaked information about it, but Colonel Puffin here, he actually decided, you know what? I'll do it myself. And he decided to actually add his, I guess, version of Puerto Rico. So the island itself maybe is not going to look exactly like this, but it gives you an idea of what the total map could look like. Again, assuming all of these leaks are true. So here we have, of course, the Vice City map at the top left, comparing it to the Los Santos map. And then we have Puerto Rico, which is about 1/3 the size of that Vice City map. And all of this together, it sort of dwarfs the Los Santos map. So for people wondering and maybe thinking that this Vice City game, or this GTA 6 game with this Vice City map, would be small in scale, when you look at it like this, having the giant Vice City island and even the relatively giant Puerto Rico island, that's a pretty big area to explore. And I really hope this all is true, because I love the fact that you have this Puerto Rico island that's not connected by any bridges. Like, you're going to have to either take a plane or take a boat to get there, or God forbid an Oppressor Mark III when that comes out. You know, I really like that. And I think that was missing from GTA's Los Santos, because everything's just on the same island. But having this stuff sort of separated, I think could lead to some really cool gameplay. Maybe you escape the cops by going to Puerto Rico, because of course the cops don't really follow you. I mean, I guess maybe they do follow if you have enough stars over the water, but still, like, it's just cool to sort of see what might actually be the case. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, look, we don't know if this is real or fake. Like I said, assume it's real. What are your thoughts on this? Because I personally think this is actually a pretty solid GTA 6 map. Yeah, it's not giant. You know, maybe you were thinking, you know, 12 years later, the map would be twice, 3, 4 times the size of Los Santos. But honestly, I'm kind of down for this. We have the big area that's relatively big in Vice City. We have a bunch of little smaller towns that are actually decently sized, I guess. And then you have the other island of Puerto Rico, and maybe that's how they add some mountainous areas to the island. I don't know if Puerto Rico is really mountainous, but maybe that's what they could do. So I personally, I give my stamp of approval for this. And it'd be kind of unfortunate if we don't get something along these lines, but yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I just thought this could be an interesting topic to discuss while, again, we are waiting for some GTA Online news. Nothing really happening in that front. The Red Dead Online DLC came out today, so all of the Red Dead stuff is past, so now it's Rockstar just focusing on GTA Online, so that's something definitely exciting. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please drop a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more GTA content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.